All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans, and welcome to the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network for the unboxing. It didn't come in a box, so it's the reveal video for brand new card sets for the Legends of Wrestling card and dice game for 2021. My name is Dave Little, and we are coming to you live from the Dave Cave on behalf of the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network. It's a new year, and we have got a bunch of new cards to reveal for the card sets that we will be using in the coming Heartland Championship Wrestling seasons. Two major new card sets have been released just within the past couple of months. You may have seen these on other channels, but we have the George Tragos Thesz Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame Game Edition, produced by Filsinger Games in cooperation with the Tragos Thesz Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. And this set has some huge new names and some previous legends being reissued in color versions to celebrate their inductions into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa. Also, we have the annual expansion pack. We are up to expansion pack 6 of the card and dice game. Some new faces in this and some color upgrades as well. Plus, we've got Women of the Indies and plenty of other new cards to reveal. In fact, I bought so many cards I ran out of card holders, and we are not going to put them all on the channel here tonight, but we will take a look at what is new in the new card editions. And we'll start with the Tragos Hall of Fame set. And the big name in this set, and one of the biggest signings in Filsinger Games history, is this man, Jack Briscoe, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion out of Oklahoma, and just a phenomenal performer for many, many years inside the squared circle. And along with Jack Briscoe, we will see his brother, Jerry Briscoe. The Briscoe brothers were tremendous wrestlers in their own right, and they were an outstanding tag team. So we will have plans to put Jack and Jerry into the Heartland Championship Wrestling Federations, both in tag team and in singles competition. What an exciting year it will be to have the Briscoe brothers on board. Also in this set, and also from Oklahoma, is this man, Danny Hodge, also a former World Heavyweight Champion, one of the great light heavyweight champions of all time, technical wrestler par excellence, and just one of the toughest human beings to ever walk on planet Earth. May he rest in peace. Danny Hodge passed away recently, but he is part of this set, and really a big deal. He does have an old black and white card, but it is great to see him in color. And as always, Filsinger Games artist Werner Muke did a wonderful job capturing the memory of Danny Hodge in this set. The Beast, Dan Severn, primarily known for his MMA career, but also a established professional wrestler in his own right, makes his appearance here in the new card set. And of course, the man who is the namesake of the Professional Hall of Fame, George Tragos himself. There was an announcement yesterday at the virtual gathering of the Filsinger Games community that Thesz will also be getting a color card update in 2021. But George Tragos will be a wonderful addition to the Heartland Championship Wrestling in 2021. Some other renowned wrestlers who were honored, also new to the Filsinger set, is this guy, Baron von Raschke, the Clawmaster. Baron was renowned in the AWA for many years, up in his home state of Minnesota, and his use of the Iron Claw was legendary. So we welcome Baron von Raschke to the set. Bob Roop, also a former Legends performer, or who has previously had a Legends of Wrestling card, is now immemorialized in the Tragos Hall of Fame set. And he has had some successful tag team runs in Heartland Championship Wrestling. We look forward to more from Bob Roop. Also from previous Legends of Wrestling black and white sets, we've got Dick Hutton from Oklahoma, a tremendous performer. Very, very outstanding technical wrestler. Was not quite the big draw as a Jack Briscoe or a Danny Hodge, but he could certainly do it inside the squared circle, and has also had success of his own in the Heartland Championship Wrestling history. Two more names. This is Jim Londos, the Golden Greek, who was another fine performer in the early days of professional wrestling, and the German competitor Fritz von Goering. Von Goering also had a black and white card in the original Filsinger game sets, and according to Tom Filsinger, Fritz von Goering was one of the most engaging performers who ever had a card made, because he worked very closely with Tom to put together the move set and the ratings for his card, and he will be another tremendous addition in color as part of the Tragos Hall of Fame set. As we say hello in the chat room to Thomas Morgan, T-Man himself, and the legendary Al Red Sox fan stopping by to check out this reveal video. Now let's move to the standard Filsinger card set edition, just released last month. This is expansion pack 6. And like the Tragos set, some of these guys have been previously released in black and white. Some of these are new. And the biggest new addition would be this guy, the Dynamite Kid. Just an outstanding wrestler, best known for his tag team work as a member of the British Bulldogs, alongside his partner Davey Boy Smith. So we welcome the British Bulldogs to the Heartland Championship Wrestling and to the Legends of Wrestling universe. Davey Boy Smith was released in expansion pack 5 as a single card, and now in pack 6 he gets tag team ratings alongside his partner, the legendary Dynamite Kid. So we welcome these two to Legends of Wrestling. Another renowned tag team featuring a new addition. This man is the Barbarian and his tag team partner, the Warlord. Collectively, these two were known as the Powers of Pain. Warlord has been in Legends of Wrestling in the past in black and white. This is a new entry for his partner, the Barbarian, and together the Powers of Pain will be a force to be reckoned with in Heartland Championship Wrestling. As we say hello to Brandon Baker. Question from Thomas Morgan: why does Dick Hutton have money in his hand? Let me see if there's anything in the book about that. I believe he was at one point involved in some sort of an angle where he played the role of a bounty hunter. The manual says nothing about that in his bio within the game manual, but I believe that had something to do with his role in being hired as a shoot wrestler to legitimately take down somebody who was not cooperating with the promoters and what they needed to do. As we say hi again to Brandon Baker. Also new to Legends of Wrestling, coming in as a solo performer, is this man, Adrian Adonis. If you watched WWF wrestling in the 80s, you probably saw a very different persona of Adrian Adonis, where he was, first of all, fat, and second of all, presented himself as being openly gay, and he had the he wore pink robes and flowers and that sort of thing. Now, whether I don't believe he was gay in real life because he had a wife, and I think that was just a persona that he was playing at the time for the ratings. But the Adrian Adonis Flower Shop version, who battled Roddy Piper at WrestleMania, may be coming to Legends of Wrestling sometime in the future. But the initial release of Adrian Adonis is his New York City biker persona. Very successful tag team in the AWA with Jesse the Body Ventura, as they wrestled as the East-West Connection. Came to WWF and had a successful tag team combination with Dick Murdoch, winning the WWF World Tag Team Championship before they lost it to the team of Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson. So we welcome Adrian Adonis to the Legends of Wrestling. Another new addition to the Legends of Wrestling universe is Manny Fernandez, the Raging Bull, out of Florida. Very successful very successful as a singles performer. World Tag Team Champion alongside Ravishing Rick Rude. Also teamed very successfully in Texas with Al Perez. And it will probably be the team of Manny Fernandez and Al Perez that gets the first run through Heartland Championship Wrestling. So welcome to the fold, Manny Fernandez. Fernandez still occasionally wrestles on the independent circuit, even though he is in his 60s. And perhaps the greatest addition of all to the Legends of Wrestling card game is this man, the Dean of Wrestling, the legendary voice of Georgia Championship Wrestling, the one and only Gordon Solie. Solie actually has 2 cards available now for interviews. One is a pre-match interview and the other is a post-match interview. Gordon Solie is one of the very first personalities that got me engaged as a wrestling fan way back in 1983. And I'll go ahead and tell that story. It was 1983. It was a Saturday afternoon in Youngstown, Ohio, and I was going to school over the summer, taking some classes in preparation for entering medical school in the fall. And one Saturday afternoon, I was flipping channels, and I came across Championship Wrestling from Georgia, with the Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer battling in 2 wild brawls on TV with an up-and-coming youngster named Pistol Pez Watley. And it was Gordon Solie calling the action that got me engaged with that broadcast. And from that point forward, I was hooked. So welcome to the Legends of Wrestling universe, to the greatest performer in the announcing business, Gordon Solie. As Brandon Baker, no one could call a match like Solie. Indeed, as Gordon would say. Lots of phrases coined by Gordon Solie. He's all man and a yard wide. And it's a Pier 6 brawl. So welcome, Gordon Solie. Some more new cards in the expansion set that are color versions of previous cards. This man, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., appeared in the first ever WrestleMania. The Birdman, Coco Beware. Very popular. I guess you could call him an enhancement talent in the WWE in the 1980s. Hillbilly Jim, don't go messing with a country boy. Hillbilly Jim making his color debut after being part of one of the early black and white sets as well. Hillbilly Jim, aka Jim Morris, actually a country music DJ after his wrestling retirement. And of course, the one and only George the Animal Steele. Wild man known for chewing open the turnbuckles during his matches. Wrestled mostly as a bad guy, but then became enamored with Miss Elizabeth and had a nasty feud with the Macho Man Randy Savage over the affections of Miss Elizabeth. Interesting story about George the Animal Steele. Although he was a crazy maniac in the wrestling ring, in real life, a very intelligent guy. held a master's degree in English, and was actually a school teacher during the time from September through May, and then he would turn up in wrestling in the summertime and have a feud that would last the summer, and then he would go back to work in the fall as a school teacher. So, not what you see is not always what you get. Also in the color card universe, one of my favorite heels from the 1980s, the Hawaiian Hammer, Don Muraco, the Magnificent Muraco. Great feud with Tito Santana, great feud with Jimmy Snuka back in the day. And he will be feuding hopefully again with Snuka here in the near future. Captain Lou Albano, now with a color card in the Legends of Wrestling. This is actually a wrestler's card, although he was most known as a wrestling manager, particularly in the tag team ranks. Managed the Wild Samoans, among other tag teams. Another wrestler slash manager was this man, Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji had a prodigious wrestling career in the 60s and 70s, both as a singles performer and in tag team action with Mr. Saito, and in his later years became a ringside manager for Don Muraco and other individuals, and was best known for keeping on his person somewhere a bag of salt that his wrestlers would throw, or that he would throw into the face of his opponents, and on many occasions the opponent would duck away and it would be Fuji's own wrestler who took the face full of salt. But good to have Mr. Fuji as a wrestler with a color card now in the Legends of Wrestling. And finally a new manager card for Jimmy Hart, the one and only, the Mouth of the South himself. Many famous performances by Jimmy Hart as a manager, and he has got a full manager's card, widely known for the use of the megaphone. And on this chart, anything can happen from Hart smashing the megaphone into his opponent's head, Hart smashing the referee with the megaphone, and of course the many occasions where the opponent gets hold of the megaphone and does damage of his own. So that is the Jimmy Hart card. And now let's take a look at some of the ladies' wrestling cards that were released. There was a whole set of Women of the Indies released, and the biggest name in this set is the name of Angelina Love. Angelina Love is a legendary women's wrestler on the independent scene, from TNA Wrestling, from Shimmer Wrestling, I believe, and also currently in Impact and Ring of Honor Wrestling. She has had a 20-year career as a singles competitor and a tag team competitor. Had an old black and white PDF card in Legends of Wrestling, but she has had a career resurgence now in Ring of Honor, and it is a great addition to get Angelina Love in all of her incredible color into Legends of Wrestling. She is affiliated in Ring of Honor with this young lady by the name of Mandy Leone, and they are collectively known as the Allure. Mandy Leone makes her first appearance in Filsinger Games as part of the 2020 Women of the Indies. A great independent performer out of Puerto Rico, Ivelisse. Has not made it onto the big time yet. She did get into WWE, but had some issues with the WWE trainers and some harassment issues that caused her to leave WWE, but she has remained a very successful and very capable independent wrestling performer over many years in the wrestling business. So it's good to have Ivelisse from Puerto Rico on board. A newer face out of Russia is a really good grappler by the name of Layla Hirsch. Layla is getting some run on All Elite Wrestling these days, and has been quite impressive in her in-ring performances, although her personality has yet to really come out. She's not really developed a great camera presence or a great wrestling character, but she is a terrific athlete and a terrific mat wrestler in the All Elite Wrestling world, and we welcome her to Legends of Wrestling Universe. Kylie Rae, if you want to talk about personalities, there is not a more colorful personality anywhere in the wrestling world than Kylie Rae. Also, she has been in All Elite Wrestling and has been around the wrestling community, and just a great, very dynamic individual, and we welcome her to wrestling, to the Filsinger Games. Also in that set, a woman who is a powerhouse, 6'1", Killer Kelly, and she has competed in some of the WWE Women's Mae Young tournaments, and a good addition. Now, let's look at some other ladies who now have cards available as part of the Promoter Prime series. If you're not familiar with Promoter Prime, this is a supplemental offering by Filsinger Games. That these are not part of the original card sets, but the Promoter Prime sets can be purchased year to year on a subscription basis. And to be honest, I was about 3 years behind on my Promoter Prime series, and I picked up all of those with these other cards. And we have some great cards to show from the Promoter Prime series as well. This is a ladies tag team known as the Sea Serpents, S-E-A Serpents, Ashley Box and Delmy Exo. And certainly the wrestling world needs great ladies tag teams. These two will immediately jump into the mix in the Shimmer Tag Team Championship competition in Heartland Ladies Wrestling. Ashley Box has also had some appearances on the NWA on YouTube, which is just a fantastic wrestling show. So welcome to Ashley Box and Delmy Exo, the Sea Serpents. Another Promoter Prime card from 2018, which I have just obtained, is this card, Thunder Rosa. And this woman is just one of the best women's wrestlers I have seen in a long, long time. Tremendous athlete, tremendous wrestler out of Mexico, also an MMA fighter. Her stage presence is second to none. This lady is, if you'll forgive my language, this lady is badass. The way she moves around the ring, the way she carries herself as an athlete, her athletic abilities are right up there with Medusa Michelli and Gail Kim and some of the best athletes that have ever entered the wrestling business. Not only that, but she really has a terrific persona, and when she hits the ring, you know that the bad things are going to happen. Feuded with, actually won the NWA Women's World Championship on the NWA Power broadcasts, has had appearances on All Elite Wrestling, feuding, yes, and Sports Time Machine points out feuding with Dr. Britt Baker, currently on AEW, and in the NWA had some back and forth also with Melina. That I haven't caught up on all of those broadcasts, but in the NWA Power broadcasts I'm watching, it is Thunder Rosa on a collision course with Melina in what has been a very good storyline. Best of the Indies tag team, also from the NWA Power broadcasts, the team known as Strictly Business, Royce Isaacs and Tom Latimer. And these guys will have a place right away in the independent wrestling scene, as they are allied with NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis. Royce Isaacs, the smaller of the two men, doing some great character work as he has brought his girlfriend, May Valentine, into NWA, and she has developed a best friend relationship with a comedy wrestler named Sal Renaro, and Royce Isaacs plays the role of the brooding, angry boyfriend as May Valentine flits around and Runs around and does stuff with Sal Rinauro. Tom Latimer's a beast. Tremendous athlete. Had a run in Impact Wrestling as Bram, and I believe is an ex-husband of Charlotte Flair, if I'm correct. But these two together as a tag team are sensational, and I'm looking forward to getting them into Heartland Championship Wrestling soon. A couple of familiar faces that are new to the independent wrestling scene are Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. And if you've watched WWE over the years, you recognize these guys clearly as the former Zack Ryder and the former Kurt Hawkins. And as soon as these guys got their releases from WWE, they hit the independent scene and took the scene by storm. Very, very popular competitors. We'll get them involved in Heartland Championship Wrestling as the team of Cardona and Myers. But Ryder and Hawkins are their WWE personas back in the day. And Zack Ryder, what a great human being. He worked so hard to get himself established in WWE, and he was tremendously popular. And for whatever reason, the creative teams and the teams that set the matches and determined who got the pushes and the good storylines just never warmed up to Zack Ryder in spite of his legions of fans. So whatever success he has in the wrestling business, he has earned every drop of that success. Okay, finally, the very last card that I will display, this is from the 2019 Legends Prime set. Another very recognizable face to wrestling fans of the WWE, the one and only Melina. Beautiful, beautiful lady. Very, very good in-ring performer. Lots of fun to watch in her matches. I wouldn't put her athletically at the level of Thunder Rosa and some of the other top athletes in the wrestling business, but personality-wise, she is up there with the best of the best. And she now has a color card in the Legends Promoter Prime set, and we welcome her to Heartland Championship Wrestling. All right, hey, thanks everybody for hanging out. That concludes our reveal show. As Sports Time Machine says, she can split with me any day. And one of the funniest YouTube videos I saw, and actually remembered seeing this live, was when Melina was feuding with Beth Phoenix. And Beth Phoenix was palling around with Santino Marella. And Santino tried to do the splits a la Melina coming into the ring. And I just about lost it with laughter when Santino Marella tried to do the splits. So anyhow, that is all for tonight's reveal show. It is great to see everybody out here, and probably by next weekend I'll have my 2021 wrestling feds together for Heartland Championship Wrestling, incorporating a lot of this new talent into the federations, and looking forward to get back on the air with that. So thank you to everybody who came out tonight. Our Red Sox fan, Thomas Morgan, Sports Time Machine, Brandon Baker, good group that came out tonight. So thanks to everybody for coming out. And as our Red Sox fan says, smack that like button. Thanks, greatly appreciated. And on behalf of the Epic Sports Broadcasting Network, that's our stream, and I am out of here.